Iran is burying its supreme leader. His 3 sons stood beside the coffin. His 4th son, the new supreme leader, was not there. Mojtaba Khamenei has not been seen in public since February, wounded in the same strike that killed his father. Security officials refused to let him attend his own father's funeral. They feared Israel would finish the job. Iran's state funeral for former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei entered its 2nd day on July 5th, with thousands of mourners gathering at Tehran's Imam Khomeini Grand Mosalla. But one key figure remained notably absent: Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. According to Reuters, 3 of Ali Khamenei's sons, Mostafa, Maysam, and Masoud Khamenei, were seen praying beside the coffins of their father and 4 other slain family members. However, Mojtaba, who succeeded his father following his death on February 28th, US-Israeli strikes, did not appear publicly. The report said Mojtaba, who is believed to have been injured in the same strike that killed his father, has remained out of public view since February and has communicated only through written statements carried by Iranian media. Separately, Reuters, citing sources close to Mojtaba's inner circle, reported that he suffered facial injuries and significant wounds to one or both legs during the February attack. State television showed Ali Khamenei's coffin draped in the Iranian flag and topped with his black turban, placed on a large black platform modelled after the Kaaba, while crowds continued to mourn, weep, and perform traditional chest-beating rituals. Iranian authorities said the body would remain in Tehran before being taken to the Shiite holy cities of Qom, Najaf, and Karbala, ahead of burial in Mashhad on July 9th. According to Iranian state media, millions are expected to participate in processions throughout the week, with authorities providing transportation, food, and accommodation. But the continued absence of Mojtaba Khamenei has intensified speculation over his condition and Iran's leadership during one of the country's most significant political transitions. According to the New York Times, citing 2 unnamed members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and a person involved in organizing the funeral, Iranian security officials refused Mojtaba's request to attend his father's burial because they feared Israel could assassinate him or trace his location. Meanwhile, Iranian military officials have warned against any attack during the funeral period. According to Iranian state media, Khatam al-Anbiya Commander Ali Abdullahi warned Israel and the United States against what he called any miscalculation during the week-long ceremonies, threatening harsh and regrettable responses if Iran came under attack. As mourning ceremonies continue across Iran, the prolonged absence of the country's new supreme leader has added another layer of uncertainty to an already sensitive leadership transition, with questions persisting over his security, health, and the extent of his public role in the aftermath of the war. US President Donald Trump said Iran's entire senior leadership, assembled in one location during the funeral of former Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, could have been targeted in a single strike. Speaking to Axios in an interview on July 4th, Trump said he had been closely following the funeral ceremonies in Tehran and suggested that Iran's leadership had gathered in one location, creating what he described as a potential military target. But the US deliberately chose not to strike, despite what he portrayed as an unprecedented concentration of Iran's leadership.
They are all there. One shot and we can take them all out, but we are not going to do that because then we would have nobody to negotiate with. Neither side will shoot at the other.
Trump also reacted to images of large crowds mourning Khamenei, saying he had expected a different public response.
I was surprised to see some Iranians crying at the funeral. I thought people hated Khamenei. Maybe it's fake tears.
The US president further claimed that negotiations between Washington and Tehran remain active despite the recent conflict.
Iranians are begging to make a deal, but both sides decided to take a week off from the talks until the events around Khamenei's funeral end.
Trump's comments came as Iran continued week-long funeral ceremonies for Khamenei, who was killed in a February 28th strike during the opening phase of the Iran war. Meanwhile, AFP reported on July 4th that anti-American and anti-Israeli slogans dominated parts of the funeral procession in Tehran, with crowds chanting "Death to America" and "Death to Israel," while some participants displayed banners calling for retaliation against Trump. Iran's embassy in Armenia also condemned Trump's remarks in a post on X, accusing the US president of lacking, in its words, civilization, history, and honor.
People can be killed, but ideals cannot. You killed Ayatollah Khamenei, but in reality, you broke a perfume bottle whose scent spread every place. You don't understand these things because you have neither civilization, nor history, nor honor.
The diplomatic pause comes as Washington and Tehran seek to preserve indirect negotiations, even as tensions remain high following the conflict and Iran's leadership transition.
حس عجیبی دارم. من زمانی که پدرم فوت شد اینقدر گریه نکردم زمانی که حضرت آقا شهید شدم.
ما اومدیم با ایشون وداع کنیم، ولی انتقام خوش ایشون رو ما قطعا خواهیم گرفت و همه این مردمی که اینجا هستن به انتقام خون رهبرشون اینجا اومدن و طبق گفته رهبرمون ما با آمریکا پدرکشتگی داریم. هیچ وقت رابطه ما و آمریکا خوب نخواهد شد. حس خودمون همه ناراحت، همه غمزده هستیم از دست دادن رهبر و با تمام توانمون تلاش میکنیم برای انتقام خون رهبر.
آمریکا ببین یه چیز بگم، یه ابرقدرته، یه چیزایی میخواد، اما من اعتقاد دارم یه چیزایی باید بدیم، چون خودمون 2 دقیقه جای آمریکا بذاریم. یه چیزایی میخواد، یه چیزایی باید بدیم، وگرنه مسئولین ما رو هوا میزنه. مسئولین ما باید فکر خودمون نباشیم، یه مقدارم فکر مسئولین باشیم.